U.S. Senator Jim Inhofe, who occupies the position of chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, announced his decision to retire, after 28 years spent in the U.S. Congress, as he intends to step down permanently, starting on January 3, 2023, making way for Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin to take office. Oklahoma Representative Markwayne Mullin succeeded in winning the race for Jim Inhofe's seat with more than 60% of votes against his Democratic rival, Kendra Horn, and thus, starting next year, he will start occupying James Inhofe's seat for a period of 6 years. And with Inhofe's announcement of his stepping down from his position in Congress, Morocco will have got rid of the largest American senator who opposes the kingdom in the Sahara issue, as Jim Inhofe did not hide his support for the separatist Polisario Front, and called for the secession of the Sahara. Recognition by the United States of Morocco's sovereignty over the Sahara. On the other hand, Markwayne Mullin is considered one of the U.S. senators who strongly defend the Abraham Accords and maintain them, which is expected to have a positive impact on the issue of the Moroccan Sahara, which is part of the agreement signed with Israel in the year 2020. Jim Inhofe was among the opponents of including the recognition of Morocco's sovereignty over the Sahara in the agreement signed between Washington, Rabat, and Tel Aviv. In order to reach an agreement that includes the American recognition of Morocco's sovereignty over the Sahara, and the normalization of relations between Morocco and Israel, it was like landing planes on the deck of a ship in the middle of the storm, due to the difficulties and challenges that stood in the way of achieving this. In this chapter, Kushner explained that one of the most prominent obstacles standing in the way of Washington's recognition of Morocco's sovereignty over the Sahara was Senator Jim Inhofe, chairman of the powerful Senate Armed Forces Committee, who was not only opposing Morocco's sovereignty over the Sahara, but was also pressing for that. Washington supports the Polisario's demands for the right to self-determination in this case. Kushner added that Trump, 6 months before embarking on the implementation of the American recognition of the Moroccanness of the Sahara, had discussed this issue with Inhofe, but the latter implored Trump not to change American foreign policy in the Sahara issue, so Trump told him that he would not do so, until it happened. Another issue that changed the course of things, and made it an opportunity for Kushner to push Trump to take the step of recognition. According to Kushner in his memoirs, the new case that angered Trump and disappointed him in Inhofe is related to Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, where Trump considered that censorship of social media constitutes a serious threat to our national security and the integrity of the elections, and therefore insisted on including a clause ending the work. This article was included in the publication of the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, which the Senate Armed Services Committee, chaired by Jim Inhofe, was preparing to pass. According to Kushner, President Trump and his administration waited to find out if Trump's proposal had been approved, but they discovered that the National Defense Authorization Act did not include Trump's proposal, which means the continuation of Article 230 that limits freedom of expression on social media, and he had Donald Trump himself experienced it on Twitter. Kushner says in this chapter, in which he tells the details that preceded the American recognition of Morocco's sovereignty over the Sahara, that the rejection that Trump's proposal to drop Article 230 met with, made Trump not care at all about Jim Inhofe's opposition to Washington's recognition of Morocco's sovereignty over the Sahara, and therefore the opportunity was appropriate to move forward on this matter. Kushner revealed that the arrangements to achieve a breakthrough in Arab-Israeli relations, by pushing Morocco towards normalizing relations with Tel Aviv immediately after the American recognition of Morocco's sovereignty over the Sahara, were taking place in complete secrecy to avoid anything that might prevent this from being achieved, and therefore, Kushner adds, he was not informed. Even the Israelis, and the Moroccan officials were contacted first, as the Moroccan interlocutor was Foreign Minister Nasser Bourita. Kushner adds, in this context, that after Trump agreed to proceed with recognizing the Moroccanness of the Sahara, Bourita was contacted, whom he described as a skilled diplomat with deep knowledge of many issues, a broad intellect and a creative mind, contacted, to see if his country will remain the terms of the peace agreement that we discussed 6 months ago are respected. Bayraktar's answer, after consultation with King Mohammed VI, was approval. At that time, Israeli officials were informed of the upcoming agreement. Kushner said that what happened after that was preparing the presidential recognition of Morocco's sovereignty over the Sahara, which was signed by Donald Trump, and then making a phone call between Trump and King Mohammed VI, after which the American president announced on December 11, 2020, through several tweets on Twitter, the recognition of the sovereignty of the United States of America. Morocco on the Sahara. Then another tweet announcing a historic breakthrough in relations between Morocco and Israel through the normalization of bilateral relations.